But after meeting with you, you actually expanded that line. So I want to share that mantra with the audience because I believe that is a very beautiful tool to look beyond those boundaries. So the mantra goes like this. So, hello, sir.
Hello, welcome,
So
Yash.
yeah, thank you. So I would quickly jump on to where we left last time. Last time we covered religion, caste, and creed, and we were talking about different boundaries, how are they formed, and what are the different state where we go through three type of boundaries: consolidated, hardened, and how they can result in conflict. So we covered all these aspects, and I want to continue that journey and move forward to it. And like we promised last time that we will go more subtler, means we touched upon the boundaries which are very clear, but now we will go deeper into them. So I was just resonating on that idea, and there was one thing what happened around me, and I was seeing one kid, a 2 to 3 year kid. He was playing with a puppy, and suddenly her mother arrived and started scolding that it will bite you. And that then it came to my mind that that is where that boundary has been created now. That will now create a value system or a belief for that child that if I go near a dog, it will bite me. So can you throw some light on how value systems and beliefs are actually formed?
By a snake bite, you die. That's a belief. Actually, maximum number of snakes are non-poisonous. But it has developed as a belief that snake bite will cause loss of life. ये जो सपेरे होते हैं, their children play with snakes day in and day out.
Yeah,
They are not prisoners of that belief. They also have medicines for cure in case there is a bite by a poisonous creature. So essentially, what you said, the boy and the puppy, the boy is relating to the being of the puppy as a pure being. No thought of being separated from that being are present in the boy's mind. So essentially, boundarylessness is relating with every being purely at the level of being rather than at anything else. When we reduce it to human domain, then it becomes relating with other human beings as a human being and nothing else. But Mowgli related with the kids of all animals at the level of being,
yeah,
right? Belief may become very strong, belief may be light, beliefs are either through personal experience or acquired, and we believe that we have faith in this, whether we have or we don't.
yeah,
We believe that this is my faith because we don't question it. No occasion arises for questioning it. So I keep on going, and as I said earlier, every faith, every community is sufficient, has sufficient opportunities for meeting all kind of human urges, and so therefore there is no need to go beyond that or question beyond that. I remember there was a conference somewhere in Korea where I was an Indian, there was a Bangladeshi, there was a Pakistani, Sri Lankan. We formed a group.
mm,
We were hanging around together. This is a minority syndrome. Now, if you closely look at this minority syndrome, it actually emerges from insecurity,
yes, left out.
left out. Insecurity is what drives human beings to create boundaries. And then these boundaries, without realizing, turn into or in the flow of dynamics turn into consolidated or hardened or whatever.
No, that's very interesting. I think uh, even if I remember and look back the discussions what we had in last 6 months or more, there is one mantra which came out of that discussion. I used to have this analogy in my mind that if I am stuck at some situation, I used to treat myself as a 2 year child and see what and how should I respond to it. But after meeting with you, you actually expanded that line. So I want to share that mantra with the audience because I believe that is a very beautiful tool to look beyond those boundaries. So the mantra goes like this: I am my being is of 2 year child, my energy is of 16-year-old young adult, and my experience is of whatever age I am. So with that profound statement, if I start my day or wherever I stuck, I think it all always give a light and always give you a path ahead. Yeah.
Wonderful. So, being part, I fully agree. And it's not easy to everyday morning realize that you are 2 year old. It'll require practice, practice of exploring, being open to new things, not getting present, but by what I already know, that openness to learn.
Right.
You would have seen 2 year children when they are on their mother's lap and the mother is in a party, they curiously look at faces, they curiously look at things, they are exploring, feeling. You'll realize a small child, if he gets a stone, he will try to taste it because this is where his indriya senses are being trained
Right.
and his mind is getting tuned with the experience of the senses. So it may take time, but it is worth every day asserting that I'm a 2 year old. Second is 2 year old is weak and fragile. 16-year old has two qualities. One, he is willing to stake himself
Hmm.
and give his full 100% to whatever his pursuit is. So that energy, now at 60, it is difficult to retain that energy. But if I tell myself every day morning that I have the energy of a 16-year-old and I will operate from there today, my day will be different.
Yes.
And during the day, then whatever experiences I have, I can see them, evaluate them in the light of the experiences that I have already had. Now, these experiences that I have already had can be either in the nature of constraining me or they can be in the nature of encouraging me towards a particular pursuit. Now, if they are constraining, then I don't have that experience. I have only created constraints and boundaries for myself throughout my life. And there, the 2 year old has to again come into play.
Hmm. Yes.
So
Going
it's a,
back to the same circle again.
so it's a combination of these three, if to begin with on a day-to-day basis, and then eventually on a moment-to-moment basis. If I can be, life is going to be great.
And another thing is like these constraints result in becoming your belief systems or value system. And when it's tied to a group, it becomes an ideology. And then obviously conflict starts from there. So means let's say if I am someone who is already part of some ideology or I am tied to some value system, where is an opportunity for me to reflect and create a gap with that? ideology or a value system, or to see myself outside of that boundary? What should be my starting point, probably?
Wonderful, absolutely wonderful. There is a meditation system called Vipassana. The word we there means objectively. कर रहे हैं, are you participating in something as a doer or as a viewer या दृष्टा? Then the opportunity will arise to view everything that is happening and including your participation and nature of participation in this. Then you'll be able to analyze, why do I have this nature of participation? Is it because of my consolidated boundaries? Is it because of my faith, my ideology? Is it because of the value systems that I vouch that I live by?
Yeah.
That is a window to, that is a way to deal with it.
Hmm. Another question, I think, which is tied to, or I think you have already given some glimpse to the answer, but uh, normally what happens is that I'm so tied up with those ideologies that they becomes part of my life. Religion, belief, or when we talk about caste, creed, they are very on the surface. You know about that. That person is from Hindu religion, you are from Sikh, and so on. But when we talk about ideology, they sit inside you. The value system that sit inside you. It doesn't come on the surface, or you don't carry the name tag of that ideology or the value system because that's in your brain. But still, you form groups around it. Still, you form a circle around it. So, and it's very subtle. Like we are moving into a subtle nature of things. So it is also very subtle. Still, I think we need to go even a deeper level and make it more easier for people who are trying to understand that layer. What additionally, like the Vipassana you mentioned, and uh, as a karta and a doer thing, what you mentioned, but I want to find if there is a possibility of creating something simpler, a simple tool which we can give. And the 2 year child tool is a beautiful tool, but anything you want to add from that perspective? Uh,
Talking of values, 12 बरस ऊकर जीवे और 13 जिए से यार. The dog lives for 12 years. The fox lives for 13. बरस 18 क्षत्रिय जीवे. आगे जीवन को धिक्कार. Now, in this value system, valor is valued more than anything else, more than even life. There are tribes in which the village headmanship goes to that person who has maximum number of heads hanging before his door. Conditioning from what we have learned during our upbringing. That becomes the values, that becomes the ethos, that becomes the ideology,
hmm,
that becomes the belief. And I operate my life according to that without questioning it because I'm a prisoner. And to answer your question, the best way and the only way to realize that in a prison is to come and stand on the wall of the prison. Now, the inside of the prison and outside of the prison both are available to me. And mind it, it is not one prison alone in which I'm living. Once I come on the wall of one prison, outside I see and I think that I'm elevated. And then I realize there is another prison. So I have to now move and stand on the wall of that bigger prison and that bigger prison and that bigger prison.
yes, layer by layer, it's like onion.
Yeah, it's onion peel.
Yes. And one interesting thing what happens is that while you are unpeeling those layers, uh, there is another dimension. You are you are removing values, or you are unlearning things what you have carried, but now there is another value system which you're creating while doing that, and that is even a bigger prison which you are creating. And I think the analogy what you have given, always questioning and always seeing you at the boundary of the door, that will help you in not creating new prisons and going out of the existing ones. Beautiful.
So, to give you an example, my example, when I was 2 year old, I was not an IRS officer.
Hmm.
I was not an
Yes, yes,
IDN.
yes, yes, yes.
I was not a Hindu or a Brahmin. All these layers have come after that, and many more. That is why going and becoming a 2 year old every day is important. I was not a father. I was not married.
Right.
Yeah.
Interestingly, I was having a conversation with someone yesterday, and he was telling me his life value system. Like, he doesn't go to any place where they cook non-veg. So it's a value system what he has created for himself. Now that value system will make his experience of life very difficult. Let's say by due to some circumstance he has to be at that place, and now it will be too difficult for him to sit there and see people eating, or so you are actually creating your own life difficult by adding those layers, and and you do them unintentionally, and then create so strong, and you thicken those layers, means, like, even like the boundaries aspect what we have touched, from porous it becomes hardened and then consolidated. So that's a thickening of those layers, thickening of those boundaries. It starts from a simple practice, like, first of all, stop eating non-veg. Then I start disliking people who are eating non-veg. Then I start not going to places where people eat non-veg. Then it keeps increasing, growing inside me, around me, and tied to people like that, and uh, it becomes a value system. It becomes an ideology. I started reading blogs, news, everything around it, and that becomes my world.
And then one day I pick up a poster saying those who eat meat should be killed.
I think it's a beautiful conversation, and like, the practice what we have kept is we don't overwhelm people. We try to keep our conversation short and put only few aspects into every conversation, so it becomes more relating and people can absorb it and resonate on it. So I think let's take a halt here for the next meeting.
Before
I
closing, just one thing. You talked about values and value systems.
Yeah.
These are usually inherited,
Right.
unquestionably.
Hmm.
And because I'm bound by that, they shape my faith, they shape my do's and don'ts.
Hmm.
Essentially, all value systems which have either emerged from religion or from patriotism or from enterprise, money, all value systems around specify do's and don'ts. And
Yes.
that then becomes my scale, what to do, what not to do, what to tolerate, what not to tolerate, and to tolerate to what extent. These are unconscious decisions I'm taking moment to moment based on that scale that has I have adopted and accepted.
Sorry, I also want to add now one thing on top of it. And problem what happens is that then you put them into two buckets, good and bad. And what I feel is the major thing what happens inside you is you lose the capability of taking a choice. Let's say if I don't want to eat non-veg, it's a choice. But now when I create a boundary around it, then I lose that choice. I don't have a choice anymore. Uh,
Food habits are actually not a function of religion, they are more a function of geographical peculiarities.
and that
The,
is our next topic.
oh, okay,
Thanks for giving a trailer of it.
okay,
So yeah, let's look into that more deeply in our next conversation.
great.
Thanks.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Sayed.
See
Thanks.
you again with the next set of questions. Yeah.